Add it up.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pizza Talks. I am your host, Nancy, and today we're going to hang out on my couch and just talk, just have a chat. So, no significant weekly news this week. Do not forget to vote for the DSA elections. You should already have an informative email in your ACG email inbox. So, do not forget to vote. Other than that, how is everyone today? How's everyone on this lovely Monday? I hope you've had a good day so far. It is Sunday evening, and I am hanging out on my couch and doing this episode with you. Now, originally, every Pizza Talks episode has two hosts. Well, those two hosts I usually try to arrange and get them together, either myself or Costas, and this week it was just a little too late to really appoint anyone, and since I didn't want to inconvenience anybody, I guess you're just gonna have to have me. I hope that's okay with you. Since I am alone, I thought I could give my 2 cents on the Deree community as a school community. Well, there are two specific aspects of our community that I would like to talk about, one of them being clubs and the other being our community's presence on social media. Nothing controversial, nothing shady. I've got a lot of love for all of our social media presence and definitely all of our clubs. I think our clubs are wonderful. So, it's really weird doing a podcast by myself. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how long I'm gonna manage to do this. Hopefully, I'm opinionated enough to keep this going. But especially when it comes to our campus life, if you will, I know that we're not on campus right now. I know that there are a lot of clubs at Deree that exist but are inactive. And I've heard a lot of people say that, like, oh, Deree has a lot of inactive clubs because people don't care about their clubs. People don't put enough effort into the clubs. I think the biggest part of a club that people tend to forget is participation from their members. So no matter how hard you work on a club, no matter how many people you've gathered to be in said club, if those people don't show and you are by yourself, you cannot have a club. It's really that simple. And I have to say, I was so pleased when I saw that the Videography Club had so many active members. There are very few members that are a part of our members list that are not actually fully active in our club, and that is something important. I understand that perhaps campus life is not people's number one priority when studying. I totally get that, but I've also heard people complain that we do not have a campus life. Yes, we do. And if you actually do want a campus life here, you can definitely make it happen. Nobody is stopping you, in my humble opinion, from what I have seen, and as somebody that is a part of a steering committee here in a club at Deree, as you can see right now. Aside from that, though, I think the biggest hurdle with all of this right now is lack of motivation. I have tried so hard to change up my environment and try to keep myself motivated through quarantine, and it is borderline impossible. I mean, I have tried studying on the couch. I've tried studying on my office. I have tried studying on the floor. And at some point, you run out of surface area to switch up your environment. Because I think it does make a huge difference to have a campus to go to have a campus that you're studying at, to have a library that you're studying at. I miss the library so much. And I think the Videography Club and the way it's been operating in quarantine has given me a bit of an escape, which is really nice. You know, having those extracurricular activities, even if they are virtual, do make a huge difference. So I know that everyone is really unmotivated right now, has to study a bunch. Try to find time for yourself and to do things that you like. The Creative Writing Club is up and running again. I have joined said club, and I have to say that from the work I've seen that they've done, it's looking pretty great. So a lot of clubs are starting to be revived again. The Fashion Club is also doing a lot of initiatives at the moment. They are doing some fashion talks, I believe. The Videography Club had some workshops that were a huge success, and to everybody that came to my workshop as well, thank you so much for attending and for asking your questions, for letting me talk to you about my experiences in production and in film. All I'm here to say is I know that virtual events are not exactly the same as going on campus and interacting with people, and we all miss it. I miss it so badly, and I'm sure you all do too. But don't let yourself completely isolate yourself from student life just because it is not face-to-face. We are doing all we can, especially the Videography Club, to keep doing cool stuff. And we're actually trying to film something at the moment. We're trying to work on a project called Sleeplessness. It's a working title. Who knows what it's going to end up being called in the end? Probably still Sleepless or Sleeplessness, but who knows? And that basically, we're trying to utilize whatever resource each one of us has at home and putting together different stories about being sleepless. So yeah, I get a bit fed up when people say that we don't have a campus life or a student life. If you want a campus life here, you can have it. So ask around. Ask clubs if you can do something to help be more active, if you can do different events. You will find your place in the community for sure if you look around and you ask. Now, speaking of the Deree community, I think arguably the most iconic Deree community social media handle, social media account is Deree Confessionals, also known as Anomologita, which is the Greek name of what I just said. I initially, when I first found out about this account, I was like, oh, yeah, sure, whatever. People just say random stuff anonymously on this account and it gets published. But no, it's very interesting what happens on there, because if you are looking for a representative of just all the people in Deree, that is where you're going to find it. It has everything from petty drama to intellectual conversations to controversial questions, people asking different things about taboo topics, and people having conversations with each other about said topics in the comment section of the Deree Confessionals Instagram account. I don't know who's running this account. Nobody does. I don't think anybody actually knows who's running Deree Confessionals, but I think it's a brilliant idea. It kind of reminds me of Gossip Girl, the show, but in a better way. I think this is so much better than Gossip Girl in so many ways. it sparks insightful conversations, and it brings people together more than it tears them apart. Like if somebody has a complaint about something that's happening right now, about Teams being a bitch and not working properly, about deadlines, about having any trouble with any sort of schoolwork, you are most definitely going to find your answers in Deree confessionals. Or alternatively, there's a Facebook group too. I always forget what the Facebook group is called. Oh my god. I'm gonna break my head. Hi, Puka. Break my head trying to think about it, but here's a dog. Hi, sweetie. Do you want to come up here? Do you want to say hi to the people? No? Come here. Come here. You can't see her, but she's over here. Oh, come in frame. Come here. There we go. Now we have a dog in frame. Things suddenly got more interesting. Oh. So anyway, there is also a Facebook group where people talk about their troubles at Deree and ask for advice for different classes and courses they're taking. My roommate is also here to pick up the dog.
We're gonna pick the baby. The baby, because a delivery guy came here and it's gonna be a hazard.
I have to say, living with a roommate does make life a lot more bearable. I'm so happy that I'm not living alone. Wow! Fun! My roommate got a burger. This is gonna be a bit loud for a while. I don't know if I should keep talking or if I should make Kostas edit this out. But I don't want to give him too much editing work. Either way, the social media presence of Deree students is very, very interesting. And I'm not talking about individuals. Again, I'm talking about the community and how it presents itself as a whole. Also, speaking of Deree confessionals, right? I heard that there is a fraternity forming. What is that about? I only saw this very briefly in one of the confessions on the Deree Confessionals Instagram page, and I thought to myself, like, what? We have fraternities now? When did that start? Bon appetit, Evie! So, again, student life is pretty freaking good for Deree. And if you think otherwise, you can easily start your own society or club. I don't think it is that much of a hassle or that much trouble. I may be completely ignorant on the whole process, but I do remember when Kostas was first making the Videography club, I was there with him. And it wasn't impossible, essentially. I know it's really tough right now for all of us, I think. But we gotta stick up for each other, and we gotta have each other's backs. And there was a new Instagram account created recently, again from either one Deree student or a group of Deree students. I don't know. I again have no idea who runs this account, but it is essentially dedicated to posting wholesome, motivational quotes and motivational things that people send in, which I think is just what we needed for quarantine right now. Every social media situation I'm talking about is going to be listed in the description, obviously. And it's really, really sweet, and it's such a sweet idea. You should definitely check the link in the description and go follow that account. I think it is something worth supporting, and support each other. I understand especially for freshmen right now, it is impossible to meet new people, or it feels impossible for the most part. Having online lessons does not make it easier to connect with other people. And I actually thought about that quite a bit. I don't think the online aspect of the online lessons is necessarily the problem. I think it's the way online lessons are introduced that is the problem. Let me explain. So, when you decide to video chat with someone online, right? You don't just video chat with a random person. You get to know them first. You send them a text. You have an introductory conversation of, hi, we're going to talk about this. Or even if it's an interview from a company, you're first going to correspond by the phone or by email. You never go into any video call with just no context, or not no context, that is the wrong word, with no prior introduction. And what they're essentially doing right now at Deree is they're saying, okay, we're going to put everyone in a Microsoft Teams group, and the professor is in charge of just starting a call on the first day of school. And I think that is very awkward. And some professors I've noticed try to do like an introductions blog or some kind of an introductions chat after that first video chat, which is where I think the problem lies. In case anyone very influential from Deree is watching, I think we need to encourage professors to create introductory blogs and introductory chats before the first day of classes, when a new class is happening. So say we have a week before classes start, okay? That is when the introductory block should be introduced, so that if anybody actually wants to say something and introduce themselves before we all just sort of are thrust into a call, into a course, I think that would make meeting each other a lot more organic and would potentially even help class participation. I know that I'm geeking out a little bit right now. I hope that this is not too big of a problem, but I am genuinely very passionate about everything involving social interaction and how the human brain responds to different cues, different social cues. And when you have conditioned your brain to think that, okay, when you are video calling someone, it's a fairly intimate situation. You don't just video call anyone, right? It's a big switch to go from that to video calling with strangers on the very first day that you don't even know, that you haven't had the chance to see or meet. Now, some people might argue with me that, isn't that what happens when you go into college? No, it's not. In case you would like me to further clarify, when you go into a college, you know that you're going to be surrounded by strangers. You know that before a class, you're not going to know anyone around you, and you're going to be in an environment that is new to you. Keyword, the whole environment is new to you. So it's not a huge change when somebody shows up and you've never met them before. But there is also a certain small period of sitting outside of your classroom, isn't there? Where you're waiting to go in, or you're waiting for your professor and people are sort of starting to gather. That is also a pretty big deal, because that also gives you a moment to potentially introduce yourself or familiarize yourself with the faces that you are going to be seeing in your class later. Some people you might pass in the hall on your way to another class that you will then see again. But when you are in your own home, something that is completely and utterly personal to you, you are in your home, usually in your pajamas or your, casual clothes, and you are on your laptop, which again is your private personal thing. Even if it's your family laptop, doesn't make a difference. You are not used to contacting a complete stranger or being contacted by a complete stranger, because either way, whether we like it or not, I think in the beginning of a class, nobody knows anyone. Even if you knew the professor beforehand, that doesn't make it any less awkward, right? So that is something that I think could be heavily improved in the future, and if we give it a try, I think would also improve the way we communicate with each other online, because I know that it is a huge struggle to make friends right now. And I can't imagine, honestly, how the freshmen are feeling, because I would be pretty fed up. I'd be like, damn it, I've been looking forward to a college experience, I'm getting none. So it's definitely something worth looking into, I think. Makes me miss the good old days when I didn't have to worry about, online classes, and I was somewhere in person, like on campus in person. And I'm happy I did get to have that experience beforehand, I must say. We have so many events, so many group workouts, so many informational seminars, panels, so much happening in the community. Please, if you're feeling like you don't have a community right now, don't forget that the Deree community isn't dead. It's just been digitized because we don't have another choice. So, with that being said, if anybody wants to join the Videography Club, obviously you are welcome to, just like you're welcome to join any of the other many clubs that are, available at Deree. You determine your own student life and what you do with it. If you don't want a student life, that's cool. If you want to focus on your studies, that's great. Nobody's going to stop you from that. But I know that it is very easy for us to get caught up in a rut because we are literally stuck at home. And it doesn't make anything easy. For sure. It makes sticking to things easy. It makes not sticking to things easy. And it makes procrastination even easier. Try to find something to get your mind off of things. And hopefully, we will be normal again in no time. Well, I don't think I could possibly talk your ear off more by myself than I have right now. I know that this was a very short and sweet episode. I did want to highlight that no one is alone. We're all going through the same thing. And I hope that through the many efforts of the many students that are creating all these Instagram accounts and clubs and societies, you feel like there is a semblance of normalcy somehow in your student life, because it's definitely helped me. And it's been really special having the Videography Club and meeting up with the members, doing the workshops, and just all of it. It makes a huge difference. So consider this an open invitation to look into your own student life and potentially do something new. Try a new activity. Try a new club. Try joining a new club. See what it's about. I know that there's another club that recently surfaced called Art Through Lenses. I'm pretty sure that is a photography club of some kind, but they do some really fun activities. I have a couple friends that are in that, and there's the fashion club. There's so many artistic and scientific clubs that you can get involved in. Don't be shy. Do it. It is actually going to make a difference, because not only will it give you a sense of I'm being creative and I'm meeting new people, but it is part of college life. It's a huge part of college life, and you're going to see it again in front of you when the campus opens up again. Hopefully soon. Fingers crossed that it will happen sooner rather than later. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. This has been Nansy by herself on a couch because she was stupid and did not get any other person to host with her this week. And next week, we will see you with more people talking that are probably not going to be me. Either way, thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this episode, or if you enjoy any of our other wonderful episodes that we do here. We have a lot of fun. I promise you, we're usually more than one person. And don't forget to follow us on social media, on Instagram and Facebook. Our links are going to be down below. And as I said before, every club and social media account I've spoken about today is going to be in the description below. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time on Pizza Talks.